friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is my channel where we do all things flute, so thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, we'll be doing another one of our Christmas favorites. This one's called "O Come All Ye Faithful," so if you're interested, then just keep on watching. As always, if you have any questions about the video, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. Also, if you are having any issues when it comes to practicing, feel free to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 really easy steps to follow to help guide your practice sessions. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. So as I mentioned previously, we're going to be learning "O Come All Ye Faithful." I'm taking the score here from 8notes.com, and I am transcribing the flute part from the flute quartet part, and I'm going to be putting it an octave down. So if you are interested in reading the entire score as it's written, I'm going to keep a link in the description down below. Again, it is free. There is no sponsorship or anything. Just really like the resource there. So I'm going to put up my transcription right over here, and we'll do our first 6 starter bits before we get into clapping, counting, and then playing the piece. So number 1, we're going to be looking at our key signature. So we're going to see if we have any accidentals in between our treble clef and our time signature, and I don't see anything written there. So that means it can either be in C major or A minor. So let's take a look at the first note and the last note to see if we have any indication of the tonic of either of those keys, the tonic being the name of the key signature. So we're going to first look for C. So we start on a C and we end on a C, so I would say we're in C major. We'll take a look and see if we can find the minor key just to make sure we don't see that in there, just to confirm. So how we find the relative minor key to the major key is you can either go down 3 letter names, so C, B, A, or you can go up 6 letter names as well. Both work. So we know that A minor is the relative minor, and we're going to be looking for primarily the raised 7th of the minor key to see if we're in that minor key. So how you find the raised 7th is you go down 1 semitone from the tonic. So A, and you're going to go down 1 semitone, so that means G sharp would be the raised 7th. We'll take a look and see if any of the G's are sharp. I don't see any sharp G's, so I would say we're in C major, which we are. Number 2, we're going to be looking at our time signature. So here we see 4/4. So we are in 4/4 time, which is in common time. The top number, it tells us how many beats we have per measure. So we have 4 beats per measure, and the bottom number tells us what kind of note those beats are. The 4 represents a quarter note, so that means you have 4 quarter notes per measure. So we're going to be looking at number 3. It's going to be our tempo indication. So I don't have anything written here at the top of the piece. So for reference, when I'm going to clap and count the piece, my final tempo is going to be a quarter note equals 94. Of course, if you find that that's a little bit too fast for you when you're learning, you can always go back into the playback settings and slow it down, or if you want to make it a little bit faster for your final tempo, you can always also increase the playback speed as well. Alright, so now we're going to be looking at number 4, our dynamics. So we're going to see if we have any written dynamics here, and I don't see anything written in the score, so that means you generally want to play at a beautiful mezzo forte or forte, meaning moderately loud to loud. You can always experiment with the dynamics when you feel more comfortable with it, but generally you want to get a really nice, beautiful, open sound when you play. Number 5, we're going to be looking at our articulation. So we don't have too much articulation here, but we do have a few slurs, so it's important that you take note when you are not tonguing. So essentially, you're going to make sure that you notice the slur a bar 6 and bar 7. And again, at the end, this is very similar articulation at bar 19 and 20. Otherwise, all the notes are going to be tongued regularly, so that means having a nice gentle t at the beginning of each note to make sure they are nice and clear. And then number 6, we're going to be looking at our roadmap. So we're going to see if we have anything interesting here like repeats or da capos to make sure that we know exactly where we're going in the music. And at a quick glance, I don't see any, so that means we're just reading it from top to bottom. Alright, so let's get into clapping and counting the song now. So again, I'm going to have my metronome here at a quarter note equals 94. Just make sure that you note that we are starting on beat 4. So that means that we're counting the full 3 beats before we come in, also known as a pickup bar as well if you're reading it on the score. So if you're reading it with the score, you'll only see beat 4 there. And then make sure that you are counting the dotted quarter and eighth properly. So if you want to write in the rhythm there, the times we have is at bar 7, and we also have it at bar 20 on beats 3 to 4. So it'd be, if you want to write it on top, I'll just put it in the square here. So it'll be 3 and 4, and then the and of 4 goes on that eighth note there. Let's get into clapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. So again, if that is too difficult for you, always go back and slow it down. You could even slow it down to where your metronome is maybe at a quarter note equals 60, whatever you need in order to make sure it is accurate and sounds exactly how it should sound. Alright, and before we play it with the flute, we'll go through a quick note recap here. So I won't be going through all of the fingerings, but if you are not quite sure, there is a fingering chart that I've included in every single one of my videos in the description down below, so you can go through and make sure that you have the correct fingering for the notes that you're playing. So essentially we're only going to be reading up from our middle C here all the way up to a G. So make sure that if you are not certain about the note names to write them in before you start playing. Also, because we're not reading it in a minor key, make sure that all of the notes are natural, so no B flats or anything, be natural all the way through. Alright, so now we're going to play it with the flute. So again, metronome is at a quarter equals 94. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful! Alright, so that should sound really, really nice. Again, making sure that if you feel like you're not comfortable, slow it down to a tempo where you aren't making mistakes, and then slowly speed it up until you feel like you're at the tempo that you are wanting to perform it at. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. And also, if you're having issues with practicing, check out my free practice guide, also located in the description. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that your holiday season is going well. And as always, happy fluting!